Welcome to Planisware Valoris. Valoris connects asset investment planning, CAPEX portfolio management, and project portfolio management in one unified platform. In this demo, we follow the investment journey from demand capture and asset intelligence to portfolio optimization, execution, and feedback into future planning cycles. The workflow starts with investment demand. Needs may come from growth, regulation, sustainability, transformation programs, or asset renewal policies driven by condition, risk, and criticality. Valoris consolidates this demand into a governed framework where teams align priorities, funding and capacity, compare scenarios, approve portfolios, and launch execution through PPM. Actual delivery data then feeds future AIP and CAPEX planning cycles.
Thanks, George. Valoris captures investment demand from across the organization and structures growth, compliance, sustainability, transformation, and asset renewal needs into a common investment framework. This gives CAPEX, portfolio, and asset teams a shared view of demand before funding and prioritization decisions. For asset-intensive organizations, demand can also originate from the asset base. By connecting EAM and APM data, Valoris brings asset condition, risk, criticality, age, performance, and lifecycle attributes into investment planning. Teams can visualize the asset base, identify aging infrastructure, high-risk areas and regions under investment pressure, and understand where renewal needs are emerging. Valoris turns asset information into planning insight by modeling lifecycle, risk, and value over time, helping teams understand which investments are needed, when they are needed, and why they matter. For each asset, users can easily access their related projects. Renewal policies can translate condition, age, and risk into future investment needs, helping organizations anticipate funding requirements and align renewal decisions with business priorities. Investment decisions do not only shape the project portfolio, they also influence future asset condition, risk, and performance. Valoris simulates how scenarios affect aging, risk exposure, service performance, and asset value, so decision makers can compare options beyond cost alone. Valoris also projects the financial dimension of the asset base, including asset value, remaining useful life, and depreciation, to support trade-offs between cost, risk, value, and renewal timing. Once enriched with business and asset insights, demand is consolidated into a common portfolio and budgeting framework, ready for capital allocation and scenario optimization.
Thanks, Anna. The result is a single, governed view of investment demand that combines business priorities and asset intelligence in one decision framework. The next step is to align investment demand with available funding and delivery capacity. Can you show us?
Definitely. Portfolio and asset teams work from a shared view of committed work, new opportunities, and asset-driven renewal needs to prepare budget planning and scenario analysis. Budget envelopes can be defined by region, business unit, asset class, or investment category, then compared with associated portfolio needs to identify funding gaps and support capital allocation discussions. Because demand often exceeds available funding, teams compare optimized scenarios to see what can be funded, deferred, or rephased, and what trade-offs are created across cost, risk, value, and strategic alignment. Valoris also tests feasibility against resources, materials, dependencies, outage windows, and operational constraints before portfolios are approved. Teams compare scenarios across value, budget consumption, resource demand, asset-driven risk reduction, asset performance, and strategic objectives to select a valuable and executable investment trajectory.
The result is an investment strategy that balances value, risk, affordability, and execution feasibility. Once investment trajectories are defined, Valoris helps prioritize investments portfolios using financial indicators, strategic alignment, regulatory urgency, sustainability contribution, and asset-related criteria such as risk, criticality, and value realization.
Using Waterline and portfolio optimization, decision makers identify which initiatives move forward, which are deferred, and how each choice affects value, risk reduction, and portfolio feasibility.
The result is a portfolio that is strategically aligned, risk-informed, financially realistic, and executable, creating the decision bridge between CAPEX planning, asset investment planning, and PPM execution. Once the portfolio is approved, Valoris moves investments directly into execution. Approved initiatives become executable projects in the same platform, preserving scope, assumptions, costs, and decision rationale.
Project and portfolio managers plan activities, dependencies, milestones, schedules, budgets, and resources. Then monitor actuals, forecasts, remaining work, costs, timelines, utilization, and risks during delivery. As execution progresses, Valoris supports change control at both the project and portfolio levels. Actual costs, schedules, resource consumption, and delivery performance feed future AIP and CAPEX scenarios.
Valoris closes the loop between planning and execution, making future investment decisions more reliable, traceable, and actionable. To conclude, Valoris helps organizations move from scattered investment needs to governed, risk-informed, and executable portfolio decisions. It gives CAPEX and portfolio leaders clearer trade-offs, while helping asset teams ground investment decisions in condition, risk, criticality, lifecycle, and long-term performance. Planisware's added value is to connect CAPEX strategy, asset investment planning, and PPM execution in one decision platform, creating a clear line of sight from strategy to execution and back to future planning.